Sometimes, when I walk into my bathroom in the morning and I smell that strong, harsh odor, as if something were tightening my chest, I think, oh, again I cleaned with too much bleach. And I don't know if this happens to you, but you feel like you're doing the right thing, that you're disinfecting. And even so, the house doesn't feel any cleaner, have you noticed that? It's as if we were only exchanging one kind of discomfort for another. And, look, I say it because it happened to me for years. Truly. And precisely because of that, today I want to tell you why the Japanese avoid bleach so much in their home, and how that can change the peace inside your house. And before starting with the first point, stay with me until we get to number 4, because there I'm going to reveal something terrible that almost all of us do without realizing it, and that is sabotaging our home. And if you stay until the end, I'm going to share a very special secret with you, a gift, an incredible trick. Something that you really won't want to miss. Let me tell you something. A few years ago, a Japanese friend who lived here for a while came to my house. I had done what any well-behaved homemaker does when she receives visitors, clean with bleach as if I were preparing an operating room. Oh, I'm so embarrassed to tell you this, but as soon as she came in, she stopped dead. She looked at me and said very gently, "You used bleach, right?" And I, all proud, told her yes, that I had left everything spotless. And she, very softly, explained to me that in her culture they avoid bleach because it leaves toxic residues in the air, it irritates the skin, it damages materials. Look, I swear I was left frozen. From then on, I started to look at things with different eyes. The first reason why they avoid bleach is because it leaves the environment heavy, loaded, as if your lungs were working twice as hard without you noticing. That penetrating smell, that chemical hit we feel when we open the bottle or wipe with the cloth, we've normalized it since we were little girls. We grew up hearing that if it smells strong, it's clean. But they see it completely differently. For Japanese women, that smell is not a symbol of cleanliness, but a warning sign, like when something inside your body tells you this is not right. And look, when you think about it, it makes sense. A house should breathe softly, feel light, like when you open the window and a little fresh air comes in. It shouldn't feel like a hospital, nor force you to hold your breath while you clean. I used to experience something that I never questioned. After cleaning the kitchen or the bathroom, I'd be left with a headache that started behind my eyes, like a constant pressure, and an itch in my throat that made me cough a little, as if I were trying to clear it. But it never occurred to me that it could be because of the bleach. I thought it was tiredness, or that I had slept poorly, or that it was the humidity in the bathroom. Anything except the product that I believed was helping me. And look, let me tell you something very intimate. One day, I cleaned the bathroom early, at around 8 in the morning, because my daughter was coming for lunch. I left everything very white, in my mind shining, and I went to cook. And while I was chopping some vegetables, I felt my nose burning, as if some strange smoke had passed by. I aired things out a bit, but nothing. That rough sensation in the air was still there. And in the afternoon, when my daughter went into the bathroom, she asked me, "Mom, what did you use? It's super strong." That was when I finally connected the dots. Look, that day I was even ashamed of myself. How did I never think of it? When I started trying softer alternatives, things that didn't smell strong, that almost didn't smell like anything, it was as if someone had opened a door I didn't know existed. The atmosphere in the house changed. Not just the smell, the feeling. You'd walk into the kitchen and it was like, I don't know, cleaner in the real sense, not in the chemical sense. It was as if the house could breathe better. And so could I. And then I understood something deep. It's not just cleanliness, it's well-being. It's how you feel when you walk through your home. Your head shouldn't hurt, your throat shouldn't be irritated, you shouldn't get that uncomfortable sensation in your chest. A clean house should give you calm. It should hug you, not push you away. And I'll tell you something else, my friend. When you go from that very strong smell to the silence of a gentle product, it's like when you turn off a television that was blaring in the background and you didn't realize it. The rest you feel, wow, it's huge. And then you understand why they avoid it so much. The second reason has to do with something that, I swear to you, I never saw coming. How bleach deteriorates things without you noticing. It's like a silent thief in the house. You clean happily, convinced that you're taking care of your things. And meanwhile, it's there, wearing everything down in secret. The towels start to lose their color. but so slowly that you don't even notice when the change happened. Surfaces turn dull, they lose that natural shine they had when you bought them. The floor. Oh, the floor. It starts to look older, tired, even sad long before its time. And you, innocent, think, oh, it must be the humidity, it must be wear and tear, maybe it's the sun that comes through the window. But no. It's the bleach, working in silence. They know this very well. They don't use aggressive products because they understand that materials feel things, in a way. They don't feel like we do, of course, but they react. A treated wood surface, for example, dries out, it starts to crack with strong chemicals. A tablecloth loses its life. Towels lose their softness. And the shower curtains. Oh, those poor things, how they suffer. You think you're disinfecting, when in reality you're speeding up their aging. When I stopped using bleach, I promise you I noticed it a lot. It wasn't immediate, but after a few weeks, my dishcloths no longer had that strange chemical smell that stayed trapped even after washing them. My tablecloths got back shades that I didn't even remember they had. And the shower curtains. I swear they started to last longer. Before, every so often I had to change them because they'd get ugly, yellowish, or stiff. Not anymore. It was as if the house had let out a sigh of relief. And it sounds exaggerated, but I truly felt that my home was breathing gratefully. As if it were saying, finally you're taking care of me the way I deserve. And there I understood something I had never thought about. A house ages too, but how it ages depends a lot on how we treat it. And bleach, even if we love it out of habit, is not exactly a loving treatment. The third reason is something that completely changed the way I think. Bleach doesn't clean better. It only disinfects. And that's a hard blow when you've spent your whole life believing that if it smells strong, it's clean. But a house doesn't need to smell like a hospital to be truly clean. In fact, when it smells like a hospital, something's wrong. Because a house should smell like a home, like calm, like everyday life, not like chemicals. Japanese women understand this in a way that's so simple and so deep at the same time. They focus on daily cleaning, gentle, constant, kind. They don't wait for the mess to turn into a mountain, or for the grease to form a wall in the kitchen, or for the bathroom to start talking by itself, haha. No. They do a little bit every day without tearing through, without attacking, without that mentality of now, yes, we're going to kill all the dirt. And they do it because they know that cleaning is not a war. It's a habit. And I swear that when I understood that, I felt a huge relief. Because I was an expert at doing the opposite. I'd let everything pile up because I was tired or short on time, or simply had no energy. And of course, then came the brutal cleaning day, that cleaning day when you end up sweating, panting, as if you were training for the Olympics, haha. I'd put on gloves, grab the bleach, and clean as if I were erasing a crime. An exaggeration, but you understand me. That feeling of, I have to disinfect everything because it's gotten out of control. And do you know what I achieved with that? Exhausting myself. Exhausting my body and exhausting my soul. And on top of that, I was left with that horrible feeling that it was never enough. That something was always missing. That the house got dirty again way too fast. And I, without knowing that I was actually using the wrong approach. That it wasn't a matter of strength. It was a matter of consistency. When I changed my mindset and started cleaning a little every day, in a gentle way, without bleach, without rush, and without that smell that seemed to announce an emergency, everything changed. My house stayed clean without me having to sacrifice my energy. And above all, I stopped feeling that constant guilt for not having done enough. It was like putting down a backpack I'd been carrying for years. Really, that discovery was liberating. And now comes the fourth reason. The strongest one, the one I told you at the beginning that almost all of us do without realizing it. And I'm telling you this with my heart in my hand. When I understood this, I was left frozen. Bleach, when we accidentally mix it with other products, especially those bathroom cleaners, kitchen degreasers, or those sprays that already come with strong chemicals, releases toxic gases that you can't see, but that stay floating in the air for hours. And it's not an exaggeration. They're gases that irritate the lungs, the eyes, the skin, and that affect anyone who passes by, especially the most sensitive ones. The saddest thing is that so often we do it out of innocence. A little drizzle to boost it, a bit more so that it gets cleaner, or even those mixtures we make without thinking, let me add this too, after all, nothing happens. Oh my God. When I found out what really happens with those mixtures, I felt as if someone had thrown a bucket of cold water over me. My Japanese friend told me that over there mixing products is almost a sin. Literally, it's an unwritten rule at home, never mix chemicals. Because they see it almost as an act of self-care and of protection for the family. And look, let me tell you something intimate that shook me deeply inside. Once, years ago, I cleaned the bathroom just like that, mixing without meaning to. I had used bleach, and since I felt it wasn't getting that clean, I went over it with that blue gel cleaner we all know. And that day, I swear my nose started itching, my eyes were watering, and I felt a strange burning in my throat. But I didn't know. I thought it might be the humidity, or hot steam from the water, or who knows what silly thing. I never imagined that I myself had created a toxic gas in there. It scares me to think about it now. When my friend explained it to me, I felt a mix of guilt, worry, and, oh, even shame. Because you automatically think about your family. About the children who grew up with you cleaning like that. About the grandchildren who run into the bathroom without warning. About the partner who passes through for a second. You feel that little stab in your chest thinking, how many times have I done this without knowing? It's hard, so hard, to realize this. Because we always act with the best intention in the world. We clean because we want to care, we want to protect, we want our house to be a safe place. And when you find out that, without meaning to, you were creating just the opposite, oof, it shakes your soul. It leaves you thinking, reflecting, and feeling grateful that now you know. And I'll tell you the truth, since I stopped mixing products, and even more, since I stopped using bleach, I felt an enormous peace. As if I were finally doing things in harmony, without risks, without that invisible fear you carry without realizing it. Look, if up to this point something here has made sense to you, I would love for you to stay in this community. Truly. Subscribe, give this a like so I know this is helping you, and tell me in the comments if something similar has ever happened to you. I swear I read everything you write. And tell me something. Has the same thing happened to you, or am I the only one who has lived this? I'll love reading you. The fifth reason touched my heart in a way you can't imagine, because it made me understand something I had never associated with cleaning, how strong chemicals affect our mood. And I'm not just talking about physical discomfort. I'm talking about energy, that inner sensation you carry in your chest, in your shoulders, in your breathing. Truly, when you clean with something too aggressive, the body tenses up without you noticing. It's as if your muscles switched into alert mode. Your heart beats a little faster, your breathing becomes short, rushed, and your mind fills with that feeling of, I have to finish quickly, this is bothering me, I want to get out of here. It's a discomfort that we don't always know how to name. Shemi Japanese friend explained it to me in such a beautiful way. The home should feel like a refuge, not like a chemical attack. And when she said that, I swear I felt a silence inside. As if all my thoughts suddenly fell into place. Because it's true. At our age we don't want battles at home anymore. We want calm, we want softness, we want those small moments where the soul breathes more deeply. We want peace, not more noise. We've already lived enough shocks in life for cleaning to be another one. And I thought, she's so right. So right. I realized that many times I finished cleaning with an inner irritation, as if I were in a bad mood and didn't know why. And it was the smell, the strength of the product, that heavy atmosphere that stays floating afterward. It was affecting me without me noticing it. Changing that was like opening a window, but not just the window of the house, a window inside myself. I felt lighter, more serene, as if the volume of a background noise that had been with me for years had been turned down. Suddenly cleaning was no longer a struggle. It was like a gentle ritual, something I did out of love, not obligation. And that changes everything. I'm telling you this from the heart. When cleaning stops being aggressive, the home changes, and you change with it. The sixth reason has to do with the skin. Oh, the skin. Our poor hands, which have gone through so many battles throughout life. Washing, cooking, making beds, scrubbing pots, bathing children, scrubbing floors. And even so, there they are, faithful, working without complaining too much. But there comes a time, and you know this as well as I, Dowhen, they're no longer up for being irritated by just anything. The skin changes, it becomes thinner, more delicate, more sensitive. And bleach. Bleach does not forgive. I remember perfectly how my hands would be after using it. Dry like cardboard. Red around the joints, as if I had scraped them against cement. Sometimes they even burned, a small but constant burn that bothered me for everything. For cooking, for folding clothes, even for holding a hot cup of coffee. And the worst thing is that I saw it as normal. I thought, well, that's how your hands get when you clean. As if it were part of the sacrifice, almost like a punishment for wanting the house to shine. And that was when my Japanese friend, with that tender little laugh she had, told me that over there it would be unthinkable to use such an aggressive product without protection. Unthinkable. Not only because of the skin, but out of respect for the body, out of self-care, out of simple common sense. She told me they prefer gentle products because they understand that hands are tools of life, and that you have to take care of them as such. And when she said that, oh, I felt a mixture of sorrow and revelation. As if suddenly I could see years of neglect that I myself had normalized. When I stopped using bleach, my hands changed. I tell you this with real emotion. They were no longer dry. Those little cracks that opened in winter disappeared. That rough sensation vanished, as if the skin had finally been able to breathe. And the relief I felt, wow, enormous. It was as if my hands were saying thank you every time I saw them soft again. Sometimes I would touch them without realizing it, admiring the difference. And look, at our age, anything that gives us back a bit of well-being is a treasure. That's why this reason touches me so much, because it's not just the house, it's us too. Our body matters. Our comfort matters. Our hands deserve care, not punishment. The seventh reason is one of those you hear and say, no, it can't be, but yes, it's real. Bleach, far from helping, sometimes sets stains and even bad odors more. I know, it sounds unbelievable. Because we grew up with the idea that bleach was the little miracle that left white clothes as white as snow. That if something was stained, a good soak in bleach and that was it. Oh, how naive we were. But with the best intention in the world. I did it all the time myself. I'd see a sheet a little dull and say, okay, I'll pour a bit of bleach here and it'll come out like new. And what happened was the complete opposite. Many times it ended up yellowish, tired looking. Or the fabric became so weak that it tore before its time. Especially in those areas where the body rests the most. And I, not understanding, thinking it was the washing machine that was failing, or the quality of the fabric, or the strong summer sun. No, my friend, it was the bleach. My Japanese friend explained to me that bleach acts like a kind of chemical burn on the fibers. It removes the color, yes, but it also removes the life from the fabric. It turns it fragile, as if it aged it all at once. And of course, when you have white clothes, this shows even more. But what impacted me most was learning that bleach can set some bad odors, especially musty smells. I had always believed it eliminated them. What irony. Sometimes clothes would end up smelling weird, like metallic, like mixed chemicals. And there I was, confused, not knowing why. They prefer gentle methods, more respectful of fabrics and skin. And look, at first I thought it was an exaggeration, that no one could replace bleach to keep things white. Until I tried. I started using more natural products, slower if you like, but kinder. And honestly, the change was surprising. I'll put it plainly, without embellishment, my sheets are prettier than ever. White, yes, but a real white. A white that feels alive, not that dull white bleach leaves behind. Even my towels look fluffier, newer. Who would have thought, right? That the solution wasn't to attack the fabric more, but to treat it gently. Sometimes you think that things only work if they're strong, if they smell strong, if they seem more powerful. But no. Sometimes gentleness is what transforms the most. It was hard for me to learn that, but oh, what a beautiful lesson. The eighth reason, and this one truly seemed beautiful to me, almost poetic, is that they consider the home to have its own energy. Its own pulse, its own breathing, its own life. And look, even if you hear it for the first time and think, oh, what an exaggeration, when you start observing it, you realize it's completely real. Every house has an atmosphere, an emotional climate. There are homes you walk into and you feel squeezed, as if something weighed on the air. And others where the moment you cross the door you feel embraced, comfortable, calm. It has nothing to do with the furniture, nor with the color of the walls. It has to do with the energy that the house keeps, and also with what you put into it. And for them, using aggressive products breaks that harmony. It's as if the home suffered a small shock. It's like yelling at the house so it behaves instead of speaking to it softly. And even if it sounds symbolic, it has a real reflection. Those strong chemicals leave a hard, dry, tense environment. You don't notice it at first because you're used to it. But when you let them go, oh my friend, the difference is enormous. Before, my house smelled like chemicals. That mixed smell of bleach, strong detergent, disinfectant. A smell that I believed was clean, because that's what we were taught. But now my house smells like a home. It smells like wood, like clean fabric, like that soft scent that comes from sheets just dried in the air. It smells like the delicious food I make in the kitchen. It smells like everyday life, like moments, like peace. I don't know how to explain it without sounding cheesy, but the atmosphere changed. It's not just a smell, it's a feeling. A kind of calm that stays floating. That emotional change. Wow, it's huge. It's as if the house welcomed me in a different way. As if it were saying, you are in your safe place. And it gives you peace. It makes you want to be at home, to move gently, to enjoy it more. It makes you want to slow down a little, to take a deep breath, to be present. And that, at our age, is a gift. When you treat the house with love, it gives that love back to you. It's a relationship, even if it sounds strange. And since I stopped using bleach, that relationship has become nicer, more balanced. I feel more accompanied, calmer, more at peace. And well, we've reached the end, and I want to give you that secret I promised you. And it's not Japanese, but it's a gift that transformed my home more than any product. Look, I learned to do a little ritual of conscious ventilation. It's not just opening windows. No. Every morning, even if it's cold, even if it's cloudy, I open everything for 5 minutes and I breathe deeply while saying in my mind, let the heavy go out, let the new come in. And I swear to you, I'm telling you this from the soul. Since I started doing that, my house feels lighter, kinder, more alive. It's like a little daily kindness I give to my home and to myself. Truly, I tell you this. I know what it feels like to live in a house that sometimes exhausts you, that sometimes weighs on you, that sometimes doesn't cooperate. But you deserve a home that hugs you, that gives you calm, that is your refuge. I hope this little moment with you has given you something beautiful, something useful, something that stays with you. I'm sending you a huge hug. One of those that you really feel.